Hello, world. You are listening and watching The Mindset, and I'm your host, Justice Lane. And today I am joined with a special guest, my friend, Willie. Hello. Hi. Introduce yourself to everybody.
What is going on? I'm here with
How are
my
you doing?
girl,
Yes.
It's a long time coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let everybody else let the I know you. I've known you for forever. So let everybody else know about you. What do you have going on?
Well, as far as the mindset,
Yes, pertaining to the mindset. Well, again, I know you as studying molecular biology, science. So, to the world, what drew you to that? Like, what kept you excited about that? How did you even get into that? Like, how did you hear about that? Like, you're from Florida, you're from Pompano. So,
Kaya City,
yeah, where did this
yeah,
come
yeah,
in? Like,
7th Street, 27 Ave.
yeah, so, where was, this topic brought up?
It was never brought up.
Okay.
It was the fact that in the 80s, people were dying from HIV. And it
Okay.
was the fact of nobody could give me a good answer. You know,
Okay.
I had family members die from that, lots of friends die from that,
Mm,
and for me, it was just a quest of knowledge, trying to understand and
mm,
be able to know what's real about something, rather than always believing what somebody say. That was something for the first time that I
mm,
could compare to the Bible, where it was like, if I just read, then I could just learn something. Whereas, sometimes with the Bible, you got to
mm.
believe a lot of things to be true, as opposed to science can be a little more cut and dry to the
Yeah.
point.
That's different to hear actual, individual that study science to bring that word into into the subject. So, that's a very broad perspective that you have. So, can you walk us through a eureka moment cuz when did you go to school? What year?
Well, let's talk about what is molecular biology.
Oh, yeah, for everybody
And,
that doesn't know, I should.
so when we study in HIV, my original research was studying HPV, human papillomavirus.
Yes.
And when you learn how to study one virus, it's pretty much just if someone can give you a sample. So studying HPV, you learn how to manipulate a virus at the molecular level, meaning the DNA that encodes for the virus. You learn
Mm-hmm.
how to make certain sections of it, quote unquote, dead versus, ramped up, just to see what that virus does. And you can see the results at the protein level and make more manipulations there to study what it does. And so, doing that for about, I went to grad school for that and graduated in 2013. And
Yeah.
with the molecular skill set,
Mm-hmm.
from there I went to California. I worked in a wine diagnostic lab, diagnosing wine using molecular skill sets. And from there, I did that for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I went and worked for a small point of care lab. And what a point of care lab is, similar to a pregnancy test that a woman takes, you diagnose something really quickly at that point. And, we were trying to determine if we can look up, diagnose cancer biomarkers, you know, biomarkers for other diseases just based off of your urine or your saliva. And, I helped that company get to a point that they could diversify as far as move on to multiple diseases. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I even worked in a marijuana lab, helping them to test marijuana for microbial contamination. So, I was really happy with the fact that I could do many different things with the skill set.
Yeah, it
But at the
seems
same
like it.
time, I wanted to go back to school to be able to apply molecular biology to more of what I wanted to do, which is really help people with
Okay.
cancer and HIV.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm studying nuclear physics, where we
Mm.
use uh, radioactive elements to image and also treat cancer. And at this moment in time, I really feel that radiation is the best way to deal with cancer, you know, is
Mm.
is widely used around the world, and it's one of
Yeah.
the top used therapeutics daily amongst all humans, about amongst all therapeutics.
Yeah, that was going to lead into the next question, and that's great that you said that, because basically is how is molecular biology contributing to big challenges like cancer, aging, climate resilient crops, our pandemic preparation right now?
Well, when it
Like, what do
comes
you
to
think about that?
when it comes to let's say pandemics and what was the first thing you said?
Cancer,
Yeah, okay.
aging, climate resilient crops.
Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's going to be pretty much all molecular biology.
Mm-hmm.
That's really looking at something at the cellular level and seeing how a cancerous cell interacts with your normal cells. Although you do got cancers caused by viruses, so
Mm-hmm.
cancer can be caused from many different things. Viruses, as far as another entity, you got chemicals that can cause cancer. You got
Mm-hmm.
sunlight. So how it comes about also dictates how you can sometimes treat it. But the radiation is going to be irrespective of how you get the cancer. It's going to find it because cancer reproduces faster than your normal cells. They're going to uptake this radiation, and
Mm-hmm.
you can image or either, again, use a radioactive substance to eliminate that cancer. And it truly
Mm-hmm.
works. And we've seen images where, let's just call it day one,
Mm-hmm.
you can see all the masses of cancer cells within a person's body on image. And then they give them the therapeutic cancer radiation treatment. Year and a half later, almost cleared of all these cancer cells only
Mm-hmm.
because they got radiation.
And where do you see, like, as science as a whole, all scientists contributing to the factor of, wanting to contribute to cancer? Where do you see science taking that in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, again,
Especially with
radi-
AI. Do you think like AI is helping or?
AI is helping. AI is helping in the diagnostic realm a lot more because it's able to pick out patterns from the diagnostic images
Mm,
way better than a human eye can. But at the therapeutic point of it, that's a lot of math and
mm,
physics, and it's just something that if we had more people, like that's the thing about what we're doing
mm,
as far as with our program. We need more people, young people, to get into
yeah.
nuclear medicine. Everybody I meet who say they're going into nursing, I try and tell them to look up, nurses in nuclear medicine
Mm.
because we just need more people in nuclear medicine, no matter where
Yeah, there's a
in
shortage of doctors,
the wheel
scientists.
they
Yeah.
are. And so
Hmm.
me, you know, I come to nuclear physics from the molecular biology skill set.
Hmm.
So I can do many things, whereas I can. So when I say nuclear physics, so really what we're doing is we're taking a stable element, hitting it with a linear accelerator at different energy levels,
Mm.
causing different elements to become available to us that we call radioisotopes.
Okay.
And from that, that's where my other skill set from molecular biology can pick up. And then I can help to purify, quantify, and then make that therapeutic and literally give it to that person. And then study the effects of it all the way to how it's affecting them. I'm able
Hmm.
to do that. And so it takes time to acquire things that you want to do.
Mm.
But
Especially on
that's
this
just what I
level,
do.
it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time.
Dedication, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm.
it's no different than waking up every day and living the same life. It's just sometimes you got to move.
So how does somebody get into this? Like, okay, because again, I was going to briefly speak on that at the end of the show. There's a decline in high school graduates and
Hmm.
people wanting to go to college. So that being said, it's like there's those are things that you don't even hear about. Because everybody wants to go to school to lawyer or be a lawyer or do this or
Yeah.
that. You don't really hear the word, oh, I'm gonna go to be study biology or molecular science and be a scientist. So how can somebody get into that has no clue how to, besides, going on Google and social media and stuff like that? Like, what advice can you give them?
I would say for me,
Hmm.
when I wanted to study viruses, I didn't know what that was, who did that, why they, what the name of it was.
Mm.
But once I saw the movie Outbreak and I saw
Okay.
them chase that virus, in those white suits.
Yeah.
So when I saw them in that, then
The
I asked my
zombies with the
biochemistry teacher in high school,
mm.
what do they do? And then
Mm.
she said they epidemiologists. And then I looked up the epidemiologists, and then I realized that okay, they work at the CDC. So then I
Okay.
looked up the head of the CDC and
Mm.
his background,
Okay.
and he was a black guy, and
Mm.
he started out as a molecular biologist,
Very interesting.
and that is how I realized that I'm going to be a molecular biologist,
Mm.
you know. And then from there, my first project dealt with simian virus 40,
Mm.
which is a polyoma virus similar to HIV, similar to HPV, right?
Okay.
And that was just exactly satisfying for my brain to be able to learn
Mm-hmm.
more, but understand some things, but
Mm.
need to keep reading more.
Mm.
It was a good balance between I know and I need to know.
Okay. So
And I
is it
think that's a good middle ground. Like if you want something and you want to chase it and you know a little bit about it, it's kind of satisfying, but you got to learn something so you're not fully satisfied until you get to the end.
okay? Okay. So
Yeah.
is it
So stay
so?
thirsty.
Stay thirsty. So being that you studied this for so long, and everybody in the world is like, is it safe to ask you about COVID?
For sure.
So okay, so with everybody going crazy about COVID and what COVID is and whether they should wear their mask or not wear their mask or what difference this mask makes, please feel free to explain to people what COVID-19 is and how long it's been around and what it is. And it's just, is it the flu? Is that correct? Is it?
It's not the flu. The flu is caused by an influenza virus. So we just shorten it and call it flu.
Okay.
COVID is short for coronavirus. And this virus in particular, actually, we've always known about coronaviruses because there's just so many of them. But this
Okay.
particular virus came from literally a cave somewhere in China. And they're bringing it back to their lab. And they're doing the same things that we do to any virus, whether it be HPV, a DNA virus, HIV, an RNA virus. They're just
Mm.
studying it. But their conditions to maintain the bats that kept producing the virus was bad
So
to
that's
where,
true.
oh,
What the,
definitely true, because there were accounts, um, I believe it's PubMed in certain journals where the two doctors got sick from these bats. And they
oh,
didn't get
wow.
sick one time, they got sick multiple times.
Multiple times, yeah.
Multiple times. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just their condition. Bats are mammals. We are mammals. So things can cross contaminate. Bats are dropping urine and feces and they
Mm.
get aerosolized and you breathe it in and you get sick.
Mm. So we can ease people's minds, being, again, the show is mindset. So we can ease people's minds. So it's okay to see the word COVID every flu season. We're always going to see it. Is that the new norm, I guess?
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us had COVID over time and over the years and we just called it a cold.
Mm.
Something that you got over quickly. Oh, I'm under the weather. It could have been anything. It
Mm.
could have been
Until it became
anything.
a thing. And now it's a
Well,
thing.
well,
Or,
remember, if I want you afraid, I'm gonna make it look like you need to be afraid.
ooh, that's
Yeah,
another show. The
yeah,
mindset.
yeah, yeah.
That is definitely another show.
Like you talk about the mask. Me
Hmm.
personally, I was
Yeah, the mask. The
I was
mask.
kind of baffled by the order of these things.
Mm.
Mask, what it was, mask, mask. It was three things they did. No, mask, distance, and shutdown.
Okay. Yeah, the
Right?
6 feet. Stay
Yeah,
6 feet.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, actually, if you go to actually just flip it all around, and if you shut down first,
Okay.
then you can say what's really happening. Is it spreading? How is it causing people to get affected?
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you see it's really rampant,
Mm.
then you socially distance. if that even is going to be effective. You
So
know,
you think the process that they did was kind of all over? Well, they were. It was just a last minute. Well, I let me.
me personally
Well,
though,
not a last
I
minute
didn't
thing.
abide by any of that. I went out every day.
Did you get COVID?
I did not get COVID.
You didn't get the shot?
I did not get the shot. I
Well, then
wanted to actually
I didn't
get,
get the shot
if I was going to get sick, I wanted to get sick. I
and
ain't want to be
experience.
like, sitting at
Yeah,
home
but
trying to be
yourself.
afraid and then I
You
still
study.
get
You're a
sick.
scientist. You'd study yourself. Like these are the symptoms. No, no.
I wouldn't have been afraid. It don't matter
Mhm.
any outcome. One thing that's true, you
He
know,
would have been his own
even though
test
it may
subject.
not sound good,
Hmm.
you know, uh, the fittest will survive.
So that's the thing. So the question is, again, you answered. So you really have to have a love for this, or kind of explore or find your love of it, I guess. Because like you said, cancer brought you into this, and exploring those things. So again, biology. Again, he said we need more scientists.
Yeah.
Okay, so again,
And when we say scientists,
16 to 18, if you're watching.
not necessarily, we got computer science is something to get into, that's
Mm,
great and no doubt about it. But I'm into what we
many
would
areas.
call hands-on
Hmm.
application science, where you learn something and
Mm,
then you have to apply it, but you can never actually see it. The
mm,
the only things that you can see is the readout from detection or counting or seeing something on
mm,
screen, and it's like graphs that giving you peaks about something, so that tells you that something is there. So you have to have
mm.
controls without radiation to know with radiation if you got something or not,
Well, it sounds
and you pick that
interesting.
up over time.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
For everybody, if you want to get into it, definitely look into it. If you have questions, make sure to email us. I'm sure William will explain or reach out to you guys. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Just to recap everything, you are listening and watching The Mindset. I'm your girl, Justice Lane. We were joined by guest, a good friend of mine, William. We spoke about,
Lemonhead.
he said Lemonhead. Shouts out to Pompano. We're
Kaya
gonna,
City.
we're gonna, and then we also spoke about Billy. Make sure you check out his new song and music video, Forever. He's 1/5 of the R&B group High Five. We also spoke about the question that I had to answer from Instagram about Frank Lucas, American Gangster. For those that didn't know who I was, now you know. Hopefully, you can continue to research me. You can look up stuff on my LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. And this was The Mindset.